Blue Jays looking to snap a 4-game losing streak as they continue their series with the Oakland A's.
And this one is hit high and deep, left center field, and gone!
Toronto was down 2-0 in the second inning when Matt Chapman hit a 2-run homer, tying the game, but then Oakland goes up 4-2 before Teoscar Hernandez hit a solo shot of his own. That, though, was as close as the Jays would get in this one. The A's win 5-3, handing the Blue Jays their 5th straight loss.
And joining us now for a look at the midseason report card for the Jays is Drew Fairservice. He's the host of Spin Rate Podcast. Jay, great to have you with us on the show. So what's your assessment? How are the Jays doing, because they've lost a few in a row now?
Losing streak is always tough to take, but I think on balance, you can't be too disappointed with where they are. You would love to see them in a bit of a better spot. You would love to see them challenging against the Yankees, who are having an unbelievable season this year, but they're still in a playoff position. They're still kind of in control of their own destiny, as they say, and there's still the entire season left to play with the trade deadline still to come. So there is many opportunities for them to make an upgrade, but at the current moment, they're kind of skidding a little bit, and it never feels good.
It's been sort of a streaky season, Drew. You know, lots of wins piled in with a bunch of losses and sort of wins, and nothing has ever seemed, at least from my layman's assessment, to be clicking all at the same time. It's either been good pitching and not great hitting, or great hitting and not good pitching. And the Jays also at the beginning of the season were considered to be one of the odds-on favorites to be in the World Series now. So they've slipped a little bit here. What's the formula now to turn it around for the second half of the season and to go back to where everyone thought they were?
Well, I think you're exactly right. They have not fired on all cylinders at all. Even in the early days of the season, when they were winning a lot of games that maybe they shouldn't have been winning, they were winning a lot of one-run games, coming from behind, winning in extra innings. But all those wins count. And again, it's helped them to be in a not bad situation. It could be a lot worse. I think right now what you've seen over the last 6 weeks or almost 2 months, the Blue Jays, as we expected, have one of the best offenses in baseball. They're scoring runs in bunches. They're getting great performances from Alejandro Kirk, of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., George Springer. You're seeing Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. all sort of come around at the same time. But right now, obviously, it is the starting pitching. That's the real concern. About a month ago, it was the bullpen. But I think that the starters right now, as we saw last night, Yusei Kikuchi really unable to get it done, walks and hit by pitches, and just doing his team no favors. So that's the most pressing area of upgrade. The Blue Jays have a great offense. It's going to be able to carry them throughout much of the season. All they need is just a little bit more from their starting pitching.
Yeah, and speaking of a little bit more, let's stay on the pitching. We've seen Alek Manoah. He's been pretty good, pretty consistent. But let's talk about the other pitchers you see. Who do you think needs the most improvement? And we did see Kikuchi not do so well yesterday.
I think Jose Barrios is the guy that really has the most opportunity to improve, the guy who has the greatest distance between his expectations and how he's performed. He's a really good pitcher. They signed him to a 7-year contract extension in the offseason. He has great stuff. He's the opposite of what we saw from Kikuchi last night. Kikuchi had no idea where the fastball was going. He was throwing it all over the yard, like we said, walks and hit by pitches. Barrios has just really had a hard time throwing his fastball where he needs to throw it. Right now, he's been missing in a place where he's allowed himself to get hit really hard, and it doesn't allow him to be the bestie pitcher he can be. It doesn't let him to get to his great curveball or his changeup when his fastball is really, really hittable. So Barrios is the big one, I think. I mean, the Blue Jays have been okay. They're actually 11-5 in games that he's started, so they could have been worse. But a great performance from him. A second half, just like the second half we saw from him last year when he first came to the Blue Jays, would go a really, really long way.
Okay, and of course, we'll watch and see what the Jays, Atkins and Shapiro do at the trade deadline. Drew, perhaps we'll call you back for that. In the meantime, thanks for joining us this morning on CP24 Breakfast.